so especially when you're talking about cloud, there's certain security standards that you want to make sure it's following. So Predix the Cloud that I mentioned, our platform for IIoT, follows all those standards to make sure it's secure and there won't be any data leaks or anything like that. So there's definitely some standards that you want to make sure that your cloud provider has.
What have you heard, like real life examples of people saying, I want to get into this, I really want to be able to collect the data, I want to be able to,
yeah.
But I'm afraid of...
Yeah, especially when you talk about cloud, that's the number one concern. So I was a analyst at Aberdeen Group before I started at GE, and we'd do surveys all the time. That we'd always ask, what's your number one roadblock or hesitance to move to the cloud? And it's always security. It was like 75% of respondents said it was their top issue. So that's the biggest thing when moving to the cloud and moving towards the industrial Internet of Things and an open connected factory. You got to make sure it's secure. And when you hear things repeatedly going on in the industrial environment around security, I mean, first there was Stuxnet, which was a big thing. It definitely puts fear into a lot of these manufacturers. So you got to make sure that you're on top of it and you're approaching it from that people, process, technology standpoint.
Is that fear justified?
Yeah, it certainly is. I mean, one incident can shut down a whole plant. If you read up on Stuxnet, it not only did it ruin the quality of the nuclear material that they were doing, but it systematically destroyed the assets that they had in place, set them back years.
One processor said to me, and maybe it was just sort of an off-the-cuff example, but he said, I don't want a competitor of mine to just capture that data. Is that possible? I mean, I don't know.
It's certainly possible, and this is another difference between IT and OT. IT is about the actual data that you're collecting, your product data, stuff like that. The OT side is protecting the processes themselves and the physical assets. So there's some differences between the two, but it's definitely a possibility for competitors or non-competitors, just malicious attacks, to get to your data and figure it out. Getting to that IP.